Hey guys, Matty here from dclblogger.com. I'm going to be doing a Decentraland land analysis video. I'm going to be going through the land marketplace in Decentraland. Things have changed a lot. In the first 2 years that I've been involved with Decentraland, a lot of the buying and selling of land was based on whether or not the lands were centrally located, whether or not lands were near roads, connected to roads, districts, whether they were in between a bunch of different districts. Obviously, the ones that were on the far outskirts were worth less, right? But now, as we're kind of evolving to, I guess, phase two of activity, of the activity that we're seeing on Decentraland, I'm starting to realize that the land, where interesting projects are kind of headquartering in Decentraland, a lot of the neighboring land is also increasing in value. So now it's a lot less about just what it looks like on face value, and it's a little bit more becoming about what projects are you near, like where are the hotspots forming. And it's an interesting development, and over the last 1 or 2 months I've been seeing a lot more of this. So I'll be going through, I guess, just the land market in terms of what the cheapest parcels are, what some good entry points are, some recent sales, etc., etc., etc. So join me. Let's do this thing. All right. So what I normally do, I've been doing this for pretty much the start of every single land market analysis video, is go through the cheapest parcel. Cheapest parcel right now on Decentraland is 13,000 mana. It has been kind of stuck between the 13 and 15,000 mana mark for the last, I don't know, 2 to 3 months. And I guess a lot of it is still got to do with the fact that for the first 2 years of Decentraland, a lot of, I guess, speculators were buying land and holding them for long term. And now that maybe some altcoins have started to move, we're starting to see some more people interested in selling that land. So there's like 45,000 land parcels. Decentraland has got a massive amount of land parcels, private land parcels. So that's why there's a lot of, I guess, people that want to continue to sell their lands, right? So slowly, the floor is being moved up. I mean, it used to be 7,000, 4,000 when we first started trading lands, and it became 7,000 mana shortly after, and then the floor was 10,000 mana, I think 6 to 7 months ago, and now it's 13,000 mana. So I'm pretty confident we'll start to hit a floor of 15,000 mana pretty soon. That's a pretty good buy, actually. Yeah, so that's that. The cheapest parcels, we have some on the far outskirts that are 13,000 mana, but there's still some pretty decent buys here, I reckon, in the sense that they're in the midst of some districts. 13,500 mana for pretty much this one. This one's only one parcel away from Dragon Kingdom, I think, but it's on the far east. So I guess you got to weigh up your options there. This one's not too bad, 14,100 mana in between a few different districts. This one's only one road parcel away, one land parcel away from a road. This one's in between two pretty decent districts. So this is Dragon Kingdom and Battleground District. This is my estate over here, so 15,000 mana for that. So you can kind of enter at a decent price. But again, it's becoming more about what people are buying. So if we kind of take a look at a good example of that, there were these two sales that happened. So this one happened June 3rd, 595,000 mana for 9 parcels of land connected to a double road. That's pretty much opposite Crypto Valley District. So this is Crypto Valley District. And prior to that, I think the day before, if I were to go down my tweets, you'll see this one, 509,000 mana for 10 parcels of land just south of this. So this estate and this estate are connected, so they're the same wallet. So I guess you can say 10 plus 9, 19 pieces of land sold for 510 plus 600. What's the math on that? 1.1 million mana for those 19 pieces of land. I think that brings it to about 55 to 60,000 mana a piece, which is on the expensive side. Lands don't usually sell for 60,000 mana a piece, maybe 30,000 mana a piece, and I've seen 40,000 mana a piece, but something like that is quite rare. And I think, and this is where it comes into play, where there's nothing that special about this location in terms of face value. If we were to go to the Atlas map, open it up, you'll notice that what I'm talking about are these two pieces here. So they're in the center quadrants. I guess that's definitely a special thing. On the top right, these are the 4 center quadrants that are in between the 50 coordinates, right? So we kind of see them as like the central area of Decentraland. The center Genesis Plaza is supposed to be the spawn point. That's where everyone that comes into Decentraland for the first time, they get taken over here, they run around, check out what Decentraland has to offer, and go through some guides and some tutorials, some direction, and then they go around and explore some more if they want to walk around. So anything, once we start to get to thousands of users a day that are entering because they want to just check out Decentraland, these areas are going to definitely start to be seen as hotspots. So this definitely drives value in that direction because of that. But I mean, you can get something closer for I think cheaper. I think this one, let's take a look at this. This one is selling for 2.5 mil. Okay, so that's expensive. But I'm pretty sure, if you were to negotiate, you could have found something a little bit cheaper. For example, this one. What's this one selling for? 1.5 million for 34 pieces of land. So, I mean, you're getting way more pieces of land, a lot more centrally located on a double road. But this person specifically chose these two estates. And this is where it comes into the fact that, it's connected to pretty much directly opposite Crypto Valley District. And Crypto Valley District is a really interesting one to me. One, because what they wanted to do, and they wanted to have some sort of virtual kind of like a virtual Silicon Valley, right? A virtual Silicon Valley where people could, I guess, fund projects. They can go in there and businesses can set up shop and kind of hold events and meetups, and kind of like a place where entrepreneurs can go and find a virtual place to hang out and talk and discuss and do business and trade and all that sort of good stuff. And that was kind of the proposal that was put forward. And that interested me because I'm here for business and entrepreneurship, and that really drives a lot of the activity that I do. But over the last 1 or 2 months, we've seen that come into fruition now. Like people have, they've made the convention center. So for example, this beautiful place over here, this is Crypto Valley. So we're here, this red little spot, this is Crypto Valley District. These are the 2 estates that sold. If I click M, that opens the map. And so here we are. If you can see in the top left, you can see me running around the map. Oops. And you'll notice that this is where we hold a lot of our conferences. Okay, this is where we've held 4 or 5, I think, DCL core conferences. In fact, we have another one coming up real soon, around the corner. I think it's today, tomorrow on the 4th of June. So there's another conference coming up. I'll be marketing that really soon. But we've had about 120 people rock up to our conferences and watch live video streams. We had CoinDesk playing their video streams over here. We had people going through PowerPoint presentations. And Crypto Valley is really starting to pick up and become something really, really exciting and interesting. We have some art galleries that are going to be built out. We have some more smaller conference halls. And this is really managed by and helped build by the Decentraland team themselves. So Crypto Valley is taking shape, and it's really exciting to see that. And I think because we're seeing a lot of activity there, that's why this person came across and bought these 2 estates for a higher than normal price. We also have a couple more businesses that have set up shop in between. I don't know if I can disclose who they are yet, but you'll all know them. They're very, everyone's pretty familiar with them. So I'm starting to see people more interested in buy here just because Crypto Valley seems to see more of a meetup activity. So again, the thought process behind buying land is changing between, just buying a land because it's connected to double roads. Back in the day, connected to double roads was a big thing. In fact, it still is. Being connected to a double road as opposed to a single road, you would think that there'd be more traffic there. Being connected to a district, for example, China, Dragon City district, you'd think it's more expensive because China investors, you'd think, would spend a lot of money on this stuff. And now they're starting to come up with some content, but it's really about the front runners of content that we're starting to see a lot more value being built around. That are starting to see an increase. So for me, at the end of the day, there's gonna come a time. At the end of the day, there's gonna come a time where you're going to be outpriced as a business if you want to set up shop somewhere around here. These are not too bad of an entry. I think they're like 30,000 mana each. Yeah, 30,000 there. This one is again 30,000 mana there. I think what's this one? This one's obviously overpriced, but spare a few estates and a few places here. A couple more, say 4 to 5 more people buy and hold these parcels. Then this area is just going to be outpriced, right? There's no more land you can kind of buy here for a fair price. So I think what we're going to start to see is more than just what's the cheapest land in these areas. It's going to be more about what's the cheapest land. It's going to be more about what's the cheapest land in particular hot areas. So that's really interesting to see. I want to jump across to this graph that we normally do to check out, I guess the health of the market, the health of the land market. I always like to see constant volume. For me, volume is a big thing. It tells me that I can sell my land if I need to. The moment this starts to go to 0 or 10 or 100 mana, 1,000 mana, and we barely see much land activity, then that's where I get really scared, because me as a large land owner, I need to know that I can sell my land if it comes to it. So that's the thing that's differentiated Decentraland from any other project. If you open OpenSea, you'll notice that Decentraland is 400 Ethereum. I'm not really concerned if it's ranked 1 or 2. We've seen a bunch of other projects ranked number 1, and they've done really great. But a lot of those projects have done so because they're holding a pre-sale of some sort. They're introducing more NFTs into the marketplace. Rarely do we see a project to do consistent volume in the 300 to 600 Ethereum range plus on the secondary market. And the secondary market is really, really important, because that means people are buying off each other for this sort of volume, as opposed to FOMOing in on a pre-sale. Pre-sales are great, but there's a lot of FOMO behind them. You'd see some projects do like thousands of Ethereum, but then slowly they'll die off. And the question is, will they sustain that volume 3 months after the pre-sale? So Decentraland has been special because over the last 2 to 3 years, they've consistently done 300, 400, 500, 600 Ethereum every single week, week in, week out. So last 3 to 6 months, it hasn't really been much different to before that. Here we saw a big spike because this was the lead up to the launch. We had the launch, and a lot of people kind of stopped buying. And now we're starting to see a little bit more activity. Some businesses getting involved. In fact, last couple of days, we had the 600,000 mana sale and the 510,000 mana sale, something here. We had a 1.5 million mana sale. I think that was mine. That was for this area over here. This estate over here, which is a pretty cool project. I'll release more details once I can, if they allow me to. I think it should be fine, but I'll just double check. But they're a pretty cool project that are building over here. Decentralized information, which I think is going to be a big deal. So seeing companies come in and buy these things, again, like this is a great location because it's connected to Decentraland University. It's in between Vegas City, which is going to start to see some more momentum. These guys have an investment stake from DCG themselves. Decentraland University is led by Carl and James and I think a few other guys. So they're definitely, it's just a matter of time until they have some content there. I know some projects that are developing their educational courses in here. Once this sort of content starts to be built out, I can imagine this piece being valued a lot more, because suddenly there's content here, there's people here, you having a 50 piece here. You can see here, it's quite rare to have a piece this large connected to Decentraland University. In fact, I think it's the only piece that is this big. I'm not sure if this is 50 pieces big, it might be, but you can see there's not really that many, maybe 2 to 3, maybe this one over here. But Decentraland University itself, yeah, there's probably 2 pieces, so this one and this one. So it's really about scarcity of the piece that you get. 50 plus pieces, there's really not that many for sale in good locations, so I think the scarcity of that group of estates is quite small. But in time, we should see a lot more of that. So we have had some decent volume come in. It's been quite regular. In fact, we're 800k mana. We're kind of seeing the 1 million mana mark maybe once in a week. We're seeing that hit, which is great. Great to see that, even though we went through a pandemic and a bull market, bear market. You can see if I wind it back to the 2019 days, similar kind of volume. We saw the 1 million mana mark hit a few times, once a week, maybe once a fortnight, which is the same as what we're seeing now. Back in the day, if I rewind it back even further, before the second, see the spike here is the second auction, you can see we hit the 1 million mana mark a lot more regularly. I think there was a few whales that came in and bought up a lot of land, and it really hasn't been the same since. But it's great to see the fact that we're still kind of hitting that 1 million mana mark. We're doing 500 to 800,000 mana worth of sales every now and then. Yeah, we're seeing some low days of 50 to 60, 80,000 mana. We're seeing 25,000 mana on this day, but we're still seeing some decent large estates being sold. We're also seeing a ton of more activity, guys. A lot of more projects that are coming in and building cool experiences. I'm in touch with a lot of them because they kind of asked me to advise on the land, marketplace. They want to know where's a good place to buy, and then I guess they connect with me and some other people, and then they get in and buy what they, the land that they want to buy. So I know in the background there's a lot of work happening at the moment, which is going to drive that price. Once these guys start to build their content and host meetups, I think it's going to get even more bigger. So let's kind of see some of the lands that have sold individually and kind of see whether or not they were bought at a good price, how the prices are changing. Nonfungible.com, as you guys know, I love these guys, support them all the time. They do great work, they provide data analysis, really exciting stuff. Let's open up Decentraland. So this shows us every day the sales that are happening. So it also includes name sales, so name sales, wearable sales. I want just the land market. So let's kind of filter this down to the land market. I think I need to start doing another analysis for the names and the wearables as well. Maybe I'll do that next time. I'll mix it in. But this time around, let's just check out. Let's just go land. How do I do land and estate? I'm not sure if I can. So let's just go through the land sales individually. I think these things I'm going to update. Yep. So yeah, you can see 13 to 15,000 mana being the norm. This piece went for 65,000 mana. It's quite close to Center Genesis. You can see it's connected to a road, only one parcel away from a double road. 65,000 mana. It's a pretty decent price to pay. Lands connected to single roads, you're seeing them go for 17 to 20,000 mana. Honestly, it hasn't changed much over the last 2 to 3 months. It's pretty much in the same boat. So we're seeing 18 to 20,000 mana for lands connected to roads. We're seeing between 13 and 15,000 mana for lands that are on the far outskirts or in the middle of a couple of districts. 19,500 mana for this one, which is only a couple of parcels away from this double road over here. This being, I think this is Conference Center District, and this is Decentraland University. Let's go next. $85,000 mana on this one. This is 6 days ago. Let's kind of take a look at which one this was. 3.8 Ethereum. I think that's about 20,000 mana for this. Not too bad. We're closer to a Genesis City, Genesis Plaza. Very curious to know which one this one was. 85,000 mana. Alright, well, it just had to be the last one. So you can see 19,000 mana here. Oh wow, okay, 85,000 mana for a land connected to Fashion Street. Okay, this area is an interesting spot. It's kind of like a hotspot just because it's a little pocket in between a couple of districts. This is District X, this is Fashion Street, and the one that sold, I think it was this one. 21,000 mana. Oh, about 21 hours ago. Oh no, 21 hours left for the bid. That's a bid. Okay, I'm losing my mind. Let's go back here. What is the coordinates? Minus 13420. So minus 13420, maybe this one. Yeah. So this little one over here, 85,000 mana. April 29th, it sold for 85,000 mana. It sold for 85 again 6 days ago. That's really interesting. Let's kind of check out the person that purchased it, see if he's got some other land in the same location. So this guy seems to like this area, the e-commerce kind of Fashion Street. So this is Fashion Street District. There's a couple here, so this is also Fashion Street District. So it's kind of, I guess, going to be like the e-commerce hub of Decentraland once it gets built out. And through that, I think, once we start to see some more e-commerce activity, once we start to see some shops being built. In fact, I have some e-commerce businesses myself. So I might bring them in over here, maybe. But, once that starts to happen, that'll start to increase the price of these. But 85,000 mana for this is quite interesting. That's definitely on the higher side. I think the highest I've seen sell here must have been 70,000 mana. I think I sold one for that before. But 85,000 mana is definitely on the higher side. So that's interesting. We're seeing some sales that are kind of the same as the last 2 to 3 months, but we're seeing some larger companies getting involved. And at the end of the day, as more and more of these lands get picked off and held, I think that's the difference here. They get picked off and held instead of just flipped. Then they're gonna be reducing them, taking them out of, I guess, circulation for the time being. But with Decentraland right now, it's a lot about pushing utility. It's a lot about finding new ways of doing meetups. You can see, as you scroll down, there's a bunch of different projects that have been in the works. People building cool stuff. We had this SpaceX launch. This one crazy got like over almost 500 engagement over here. That's just nuts. I think that's the highest one that I've seen. We had another conference in Vegas. Here we go. We had a meetup with the Dragon City district, and they're building something pretty cool over here. This is going to be the center of their district, so a little bit of a hangout area. I also, they mentioned they're going to have some cities in the sky. That's going to be really, really awesome. We're having some games of chess. So we're starting to see some activity buzz, and as content really starts to become a priority, I really think the Decentraland land market is going to be more of a hold. People are going to come in and hold it instead of flipping it, and that's when we're really going to start to see price increase. The last thing I wanted to go through is Niftex. So this is a really cool project. I don't know if you guys have seen this. What they do is you can list your NFT here, and you can split them into shards, and those shards are purchasable by anyone. So you can see this has a 17 Ether valuation, and I think launch completed means I think all the shards have been built. So basically what these guys are doing is they've got like an exchange where you can buy little parts of an NFT. So in this case, this is a Decentraland land. You can buy X amount of shards for 0.017 ETH per shard. Total ETH contributed 0.714. Oh yeah, I bought some of this. I think I bought some shards. But you can, 17 ETH, so I think that's 1,000 shards. So I guess it's kind of providing more liquidity to, people that own assets, people that own collectibles. Say someone owns a crypto kitty that's worth $100,000 and they want to hold on to it for a very long time. They can at least provide some liquidity from their funds by sharding that asset and allowing other people to jump in and hold a piece of that collectible. So as that collectible goes up in value and people kind of trade these shards, I think it's going to, introduce a really interesting economy, a part of this economy that is really just an experiment, to be honest. So check them out. It seems like the last time I checked out Niftex, I think they only had 1, 2, 3 pieces of land. Since then, it seems like, oops, I need to go here. Yeah, it seems like they have some, is that a marble card? Looks like it's a marble card. This looks like it's a Mystic Axie, 1 ETH evaluation. This looks like it is, I'm not really sure what this is, Lord of the Rings. I'm not really sure. It's another piece of land. This seems to be an artwork, 10 ETH evaluation, 7,300 shards available. So yeah, I think the assets held by Niftex. So that's going to be an interesting thing, and they hold it, and I'm not sure how the ownership kind of gets switched. I don't know who manages it in terms of the permissions to build on the land, etc., etc. All I know is that it's introducing a really good liquidity solution for people that are really stuck with their land. So for example, if I need to sell my land, my only option previously used to just be listed back on the exchange. But in this case, you can kind of shard it, and I think you can, that can provide some liquidity if you need it. And I think if a single person buys like 80% of all the shards or something, like the ownership transfers into their name or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. Check out the facts and check out the blog, and the really cool guys. Join their Discord and see what they're all about. If you have some larger assets, and there'd be a really good people to get in touch with. So that's that, guys. Did a bit of land market analysis. I'll be going through some wearables and names. We had some of that stuff pick up. We know that Decentraland are introducing licenses for community to build their own wearables very, very soon. So that's going to increase that market a little bit. But very exciting things happening. And as I said before at the start, Decentraland Land Marketplace is evolving, so it's interesting to watch and see where this goes.